Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you once again. If you're a new subscriber, please click on the subscription button to subscribe to my channel. On today's video, I'll be showing you how I make this lumpy egusi soup, also known as melon soup. It's a very nice Nigerian delicacy and it can be made at home with this very easy step. I'll be sharing with you how I made this lovely meal. First off, I'll be showing you the ingredients needed to make this. First, we'll be needing our melon seed, also known as egusi, our meat, you can use any meat of your choice. Then we'll be using our pepper, red pepper and Cameroon pepper. You can also make use of fresh habanero pepper or whichever pepper you have. Then our Okpei, Ogidi Okpei, crayfish, and then we'll be using our stockfish head. You can use any part of the stockfish you have, but for this recipe I'll make use of this stockfish head, also known as okporoko. Then we need our fish, our dried fish, also known as Mangala in Igbo language. Then our palm oil or red oil. Then our bomo, kanda, whichever cow skin, whichever one you call it. So I'll be boiling our cow skin because it's very tough. So I'll boil it with some seasoning for it to get softened. Then I'll be adding in our beef meat because the beef meat is softer than the bomo. So we have to cook the beef meat first, the beef first. Then I'll be adding in our onions and some seasoning. That we'll be using salt and bullion cube because you don't need lots of seasoning in this soup. It's a native soup, so we'll be using mostly native ingredients. The only stuff we'll be needing here is just salt and our bullion cube. We'll then allow to boil, like to get softened. Next, I'll be washing my stockfish head. I'll be washing it with hot water because of the way it's being preserved and to remove any dirt inside. So it's best you wash it with hot water. So you wash it vigorously because some of them contain some insects that are inside, and these days most people preserve it with lots of harsh chemicals that are not good for the health. So most times I wash it with hot water, then rinse it with a normal water. Then I'll also be washing our dried fish. Please pardon my voice. I'm having a little bit of cold, so I'm basically going to be washing these fishes, like just washing them very very well, and then I'm going to check on my food to see how it's going, and it's going on well. So at this point, I'm going to be adding the quantity of water I'll be using to make this soup. Then I'll put in my stockfish and throw in my fish for them to simmer. Yes, then I'll close for it to boil for a while. After that, the next step is I'll be adding in my blended pepper, crayfish, and Okpei. I'll be adding all this to my pot. This is to bring out the taste of the soup, and I'm going to be closing the pot to boil. Meanwhile, I go to my egusi. I've already blended my egusi, so I'm going to be adding a little quantity of water to it and mixing it so I will get a paste. This is to mold it into the pot. This is where the secret is. You just have to add little water and just make it in a paste form as seen in the video, not too watery. Then you open your pot. My food is boiling, so I'm going to open my soup pot. Then watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a spoon and then section the egusi into tiny bits, little bits, and put them in the pot, inside different segments of the pot. I'm going to do this carefully so that I would I will get the lumpy egusi I need. While doing this, you are not going to cover the pot to boil. You leave your pot open to boil. Another necessary precaution you have to take is you don't stir vigorously. You have to stir with extra care to avoid breaking down the lumps of egusi. So you are just going to put it in basically, then allow it boil so that the egusi will done, like it will get done, you get. So just leave it to boil for about 5-10 minutes like I'm doing now. Once it's already boiled, as seen in the video, is already done. The egusi is looking done. I'm going to be adding in my red oil. I'm going to be adding my red oil to the soup. Then I'm going to be stirring carefully to avoid breaking the lumps of egusi. As you can see, the lumps are already formed, and definitely I won't need it this big because it's too big. So I'm going to be breaking down some of it into some tiny bits, not really tiny but little bits that will be okay for us to eat on, because it is not chunks of meat, so definitely we're going to break down some of it. So that's what I did. I broke down some of it, then stirred and then stirred the soup gently to avoid making it to avoid breaking down most of the egusi. So next, after that, what I'm going to do is to add in my vegetable. This is my ugu leaf. I'm going to be adding it into my pot, and then I'll give it a stir. Our egusi soup is ready. Once I add in my vegetable, I don't like leaving it on the burner for long. I just add in, stir, then take down my pot of soup, because it's a vegetable and it doesn't need to be cooked for so long. So that's how I made my sumptuous vegetable. As you can see, the lumps, the egusi still has lumps. If you really want it to, if you still want to break it down, you can go ahead, but this is okay for me and I'm okay with what I'm seeing here. So thank you for viewing my channel today. As you can see, I enjoyed my egusi soup with fufu, apple, whichever name you call it, and it was so delicious. Please do well to subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and if you're a returning subscriber, please turn on your notification buttons to get notification on my next post. I hope this video was able to educate you on how I was able to make my sumptuous egusi soup. Thanks for joining me on this one. I'm so sorry for my voice. I have cold like I said earlier. See you on the next one. Bye bye.